All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. We are watching Alex versus Jiri. We have Jiri as the #1 contender and Alex as the #3, a recent addition to this weight class. He moved up from the 185, now up to the 205. We're looking at the stats before we get this fight underway. Jiri at 31 years old, relatively young. Height of 6'3", weighing in at 204. Alex Periera, 36. Obviously, all the time he had in kickboxing made his transition to MMA a little bit later in life. He is 6'4", a tiny bit taller, also weighed in at 204, and the reach is almost identical. Much bigger record for Jiri, 29-3, and Alex is 8-2. So going into this matchup, what am I thinking? I do recognize that I am not an expert on the ground, but when we look at striking, that is my forte, that is my area of expertise. And the first thing that I have to say that I do recognize here is if Alex wins this fight and he becomes now a 2 weight class champion in the UFC, he'll be like, I don't even know now, one of 6, 7, 8, I don't know how many people have done it. A very small number of people have managed to accomplish this. And if he can do it and become a 2 division champion, not only in MMA within UFC, but also within Glory, this potentially puts him at the point where you could be like, is this the best striker of all time? Because he's moved from kickboxing, where he dominated, did 2 weight classes successfully, and then moved into an entirely different sport. And on his 11th fight is now doing something which most fighters do once they've established their career. Very, very interesting fight. I will say that I feel like in terms of striking, with what I've seen with Jiri, he's accomplished. He's a little unorthodox. Does he have the striking game of Periera? No, probably not. But can he go to the ground? Can he take him down? I don't know enough about his groundwork. I'm assuming he probably could. I'm pretty sure he submitted Alex Periera's coach, Glover Teixeira, so he has submission skills. Question is, will he be able to get through Alex and do something to get him to the ground or hurt him even standing up? Because even at this weight class, I know a lot of people have said that now Alex has jumped up from 185, where he was a massive guy, and now he's up to 205. So maybe he's going to be a little undersized. I think still he's probably walking at like 230 or something like that and cutting to 205. So he is not small by any means. So let's skip forward to the actual fight here, and I will see what happened at UFC 295. There was the glove touch. And I'm going to make sure to throw up the highlights for you guys, the most important moments of the fight. I could be wrong, but I just don't see this fight going the distance. And with Periera, it's so hard to go the distance. Jiri, already a stance switch. Both fighters in MMA, as we note, keep the hands fairly far away from the head because obviously the tight guard is not going to work, but Alex always fought like that, even in kickboxing. Kept his hands fairly far away from the head. And in terms of kickboxing striking, he is unorthodox. We have to recognize that. I've already done a video. If I can find it, I'm going to link it up there. Like 3 things that he does which are like technically incorrect. But obviously, as I already said, he's one of the best strikers in the world, and if he wins this, could be argued he's the best striker in the world. So that goes to show you that proper technique, nice uppercut there from Jiri, is not always necessary. I think it helps a lot of people, but it's not 100% necessary. Oh, good calf kick there from Periera. The calf kick is interesting because, again, he lands it and it off-balances you so significantly. It does not always do the same, well, it does damage you. It definitely does, but you're not going to off-balance somebody going to the thigh. You shouldn't be able to. They're so much more stable. We see Jiri a couple times faking down for the grab and then coming up for the punch. Periera just locked and loaded. You can see Jiri's hands are open. He's a little more relaxed. Another calf kick. That one looked like it hurt, but Periera's got those hands ready to just fire in. Oh, geez. Oh, that calf kick hurt him. And what I'm noting right now as Alex is throwing these calf kicks is he looks pretty lackadaisical when he's doing it. He's not putting what looks like 100% into them. He's landed 4 so far. Good cross there from Jiri. He's finding an odd rhythm and timing. But the calves, you're better off landing when you attack than, at like 60% than blasting 100 and having the guy check it or evade. So I like how calm, again, he lands it, Periera. He's trying to defend the takedown here. Got a little guillotine. It's going to be hard to finish that one, I think. Looking for Jiri to try and lift him a little bit. And there we go. He lifts him. He turns him. He gets him down. He's got the half guard. Caught in the guillotine, but he's not going to finish from there. See if Jiri can bump out that right leg, get some freedom from the side guard. No, he just gets his head free. That top knot that he has, I feel like would make things a little extra difficult to get out of some of those submission positions like a guillotine. Let's see what he can do here. His calf is being chewed up. He's got to do some damage on top. Or try and get Alex to turn, make a mistake, go for a submission. Alex's arms look, I know that we already saw the stats and they're not that much longer, but he just puts them up and it looks like he can just get, like making it so difficult for Jiri to get any shots off. Flattens out his body weight. You're trying to use that forehead to control the jaw of Periera. He's not having too much success at this point. Just trying to get his hands free, but Alex is just doing a really good job just posting up. There's some elbows coming down the middle. I mean, I'm impressed with Alex's ability right now just to more or less neutralize damage, because if he can take the first 3 minutes of each round and land those calf kicks and some punches to the head of Jiri, but then, be on his back for a couple minutes but not take massive damage, you got to figure by round 2 or 3 it's going to start getting pretty hard for Jiri to walk, and then therefore maybe even start getting hit with some headshots. Good first round though. We've seen the strengths of both guys, or not even so much their strengths, but more the weaknesses that their opponent will have versus them come out a little bit. Jiri's walking like he's okay, but those calves, or those calf kicks, definitely hurt him. I don't imagine he's going to want to take too many more of those. Because you just never know. We've seen it in a lot of fights. You don't know when the leg is just going to shut down. And that's the difference between the low kicks to the thigh and the ones to the calf. It just seems like the shutdown comes so much faster. Jiri opting to stand in between rounds. I haven't watched enough of his fights to know if that's a regular thing from him. Just beaten down to the calf. We see there Jiri trying to capture the leg the way you would on a low kick, but I've made that mistake many times. When somebody throws a calf kick, I'm like, oh, I'm going to catch it. And then you go, oh yeah, I can't reach down that low. Here we go into round number 2. Nobody got rocked in the first round, which maybe speaks to more their style in terms of defense, longer guard, not really wanting to stand in there and bang. But I'm surprised, I gotta say. I figured somebody in the first round was gonna get clipped. Because I've seen some some of the highlights of Jiri and with his unorthodox striking style, and it just looks like, yeah, he can land. He can hurt. That was a nice calf kick from him there, from Jiri this time. Trying to get Periera to bite on lots of feints and little fakes and movements and stance switches. Feeding that jab just out and out. There's a good attack from Periera, just stepping in with the jab cross. Somebody posted or tweeted, or they put it up there, this is so intense. Yes, this is. When you get two guys like this, and I'm kind of like, man, any moment this could end. It is pretty intense to watch. Periera always does a good job. I'm always surprised where he puts his hands, but how good he is at not taking massive flush shots. Like, it does happen, obviously, against Adesanya, he took some, but that's more when he's pressuring forward. When he's doing what he is right now, which is moving around, evading, he's a hard guy to catch. They're just outside punch range, like right within calf kick range right now for sure. If Jiri can fight out a southpaw, it's not a bad plan, aside from that head kick, which almost took him out there. It's not a bad plan because it's going to keep that calf from getting chewed up, because he just got hurt there again. And then he goes back to the orthodox stance with that leg in front, and he looks like he's struggling on the stepping now. I don't know how many more of those he wants to take. He comes really wide, Jiri, when he throws his right hook. Now Periera is starting to throw the counters. Ooh, good shots from Jiri there. I think when Periera counters, things get dangerous too. Jiri just attacking. You can see the focus that Periera has, though. And with somebody who hits as hard as him, it's surprising he doesn't get into like big brawling battles, but he picks his shots. He's intelligent. And he knows that he only has to land one shot, really. And he's going to stun somebody enough. And without the 8 counts that we have in kickboxing, stun them once, give them a couple shots, fight over. It works well for him. Another calf kick. There's the stance switch, but then he switches back right away. He must not be super comfortable out of the southpaw. He does it for a second, but then he steps right back. The guys look relatively even in like physical size and strength in many ways. It was just the hitting power, which Periera just always seems to just have a gift. Some people have it. Like, you hold pads for some people and you're like, oh, this guy hits okay. Then you go with another dude and he's hitting and you're like, what the heck? He's not any bigger, not necessarily stronger, but they just hit. Like, is it hand size? Is it bone density? This is a good matchup. Both these guys are doing a good job making each other look sharp. Ooh, left hook from Periera. Oh, that's a lot of elbows. Ooh. And that's the fight. That's the stoppage. Like I said, a little clip. You get like tagged and all of a sudden you're out. That was a hard one to tell. And I want to see a replay really quick because Jiri definitely got clipped. But in those elbows, I think I might have seen like his weight shift a little bit, like he was stunned from the elbows. Let's see here. It's the overhand. Short little left hook. Clubbing, elbow. A weight kind of tumbles. Yeah, he was on his way down there. He was definitely hurt. Ooh. It's always hard to tell in those moments. Was the stoppage premature? The refs really got a lot of responsibility there. Getting clubbed. the weight slacks. He was kind of out for a second, but then regained and sort of dragged Periera in. But I'd say fair stoppage, even though Jiri's kind of looking bouncy there after. So Alex Periera, I feel like I almost need to do a video on, is this guy now like the GOAT of striking? When you're one of the best in kickboxing, then you transition to MMA, you become a 2-time champion there. Are you really the best? Like, who else has done that? Who else has been able to be so dominant in 2 sports? I'm gonna have to rack my brain, think on it, and maybe come back to you guys with another episode. Anyway, I hope you got to watch the event over the weekend. I only caught that last fight there. I didn't get to watch the whole thing yet, but hopefully it was a great card. You enjoyed it, and I will be back here on the channel with more for you this week. As always, guys, train hard. See you back here soon.